Well, hello fellow daydreamers, welcome to my new bullet journal setup. This is gonna be my 5th year of bullet journaling and we're starting with a yearly setup walkthrough. This year I was trying to use more stems than regular because I've accumulated much over the last year. And we're starting with this cover page. I'm using the Leuchtturm 1917 with the 120 grams paper. So I started with a word of the year and used level 10 life to set my goals. I've divided them into the different zodiac signs, which will also be the overarching theme of this year's journal, and set quarterly goals as well. Then I put those goals into a roadmap kind of format to have a steady way to let me see when I will do what. Then there's my future log, which I had the different star constellations that I put down for each month. Then I have a spread where I can write down my schedule because I'm tackling uni again next year. And a master to-do list to keep track of all the bigger projects in one spread. My finance spread is more refined than the last few years. I have my income, the things I spent money on, an area for my taxes, and then my saving goals. In my pain log, I can keep track of all my little problems and my period, of course. And next to it, there's gonna be a vision board. So I have something nice to look at when I have to jot down pain things. Products that I will be using for my January setup is those 3 Faber-Castell markers. They're really good markers, not as expensive as Tombows. I really like their brush pens. And also a plethora of washi tape will be used alongside some stickers and also silicone stamps, which I got in my advent calendar. So let's get started on my January spreads. For January, I'm gonna be inspired by the sign of Aquarius. First of all, I am corresponding the months to the zodiac signs which start in that month. So Aquarius is spanning over January and February actually, but I will put them in January because that's when that zodiac sign starts off. So you see me using watercolor, which I spread onto some foil and then tap it on the pages. That's a really foolproof way to use watercolor if you're not used to using it, basically. I wrote down some traits associated with Aquarius. Aquariuses are said to be humanitarian, eccentric, analytical, easygoing, quirky, idealistic, independent, clever, and opinionated. And on the left page, I am jotting down my goals and projects for the month of January, so I have an actual reason to flip back to the cover page. Also, I'm just loosely inspiring myself around color palettes and some traits that are associated with those signs. It's not meant to be an exact replica of all the people falling into that zodiac sign. It's just for me to have some source of inspiration. And while I jotted down those expressions, I'm also trying to be inspired by those ideals myself during the month of January. You see me cutting out some pieces of those nice collage papers, arranging them around, seeing what I like best, which composition, and then also with what paper I want to lay them down. That would be a nice background. Fun fact is that if I would have been born on time, I actually would have been an Aquarius. But I'm a Pisces now, so we're gonna have to wait until next month to see the Pisces get represented in my journal. I thought I'd also give you some additional Aquarius facts, since this is what inspires my spreads this month. So Aquarius is an air sign, even though their sign symbol is a water bearer. Their ruling planet is Uranus, and they're often unpredictable, yet really progressive, highly intelligent and creative truth speakers, justice seekers and freedom thinkers. They can be great conversationists, and they are often said to be good in careers as scientists, life coaches, or social workers. So they have a really broad spectrum of professions they're seen good in as. We're now changing over to the calendar spread, which for the last year I did almost only do list form calendars because I wanted to focus more on my productivity and less on creativity. And for this year I'm gonna change that up and have this more visually pleasing grid calendar. Since Aquariuses are said to be quirky, I combined the color scheme of those blues and purples, which are Aquarius colors, with the Y2K style things and those fun bubble letters, and I think that comes across as kind of quirky. Also, I chose to draw one tarot card for each month, and this month it is the Two of Fire. I try to grasp one mantra from it to kind of guide me through the month, and for this month this would be, you're on the right way, continue on this path. So I'm trying to do that. You see me fiddling around with some more cutouts from those nice collage papers. I needed to hide a little rip in the background paper, which you don't actually recognize anymore too much because it is a marbled background anyway. me placing some butterflies, which I also associate with Aquarius because they are free spirits after all. Just remember, this is all just for fun. I don't want to limit anyone who was born in Aquarius to just these traits that I listed, but it helps me to create a feeling for my January spreads and get me inspired. Also, other Aquarius visuals would be the birthstones that I didn't really put into my spreads, but I did take the colors, which the birthstones would be amethyst, opal, garnet, and jasper. And the Aquarius sign reminds me of the free-flowing energy that I see in dancers or more spontaneous travelers. And if they would be emotion, I would see them as a nice light breeze or a wave, like in their symbol, actually. And their colors are electric blue, aquamarine, turquoise, and violet. We're now going over my mood and memory spreads. I brought the mood tracker back because last year I had a year in pixels, hence no monthly mood trackers, but this year I want to adjust it monthly again, or leave it out if I don't feel like putting in a mood tracker. For this month I chose to have some fun shapes like a star, heart, and flower shape that I can color in each day to represent a certain mood. Just scatter them about the page. For those kind of spreads, I mostly do a range from a good mood to a really bad mood, and not really differentiate between different good or bad moods. For my memories page, I'm just gonna put the label January in the middle of the page, and alongside that some squares of different background papers, just so I can eliminate the fear of a blank page. Just makes it easier for me at the end of the month to go back in and put in some photos and some journaling on what happened to me that month. Last year I did a year in pictures, which I thought wasn't that good of a representation of my year, since one photo is hardly enough to describe a whole month of happenings of my life. So I decided to go back to 1 page per month, which still is doable for me, not too overwhelming, but more representative to my actual life. I'm also decorating these pages again with the same kind of washi stickers and snippets from magazines and my collage papers to keep everything coherent. Flip into the next page. Here are gonna go my habits and also my projects for the month. Since I will be quite busy next month, I decided to only track 3 habits. The habits I decided to go with are me tracking which days I was particularly social, which days I journaled, any kind of journaling. I'm not only bullet journaling, I also have some junk journals where I log in my travels, and I also have my media journal. The third habit I'm tracking is organize, because organizing is one of my bigger goals for the first quarter of the year. So what are you tracking this month? I'm curious, leave it in the comments below. The project pages are also some of the most useful pages I had in my bullet journal last year, so I'm bringing them back, of course. It's here where I can break down bigger projects I have and also label in some deadlines. And it's also where I can satisfyingly cross off all the tasks I did along the way to reach my end goal of the project. And now we're on the last spread for this January setup, which is gonna be my first weekly. This year I'm trying to alternate between double spreads and singular spreads for my weeks, depending on my workload and overall busyness. Since I am still home for the first week of January and I want to get a lot of things done which aren't strictly work related and from very different kinds of areas, I need a double spread so I can have a daily to-do list and a daily event log. Also, to the right side, I am having a packing list for my trip to Scotland, which starts on 6th of January. I already know I'm probably gonna do a singular spread for the second week of January, if I even bother filling in a weekly spread, because that week I'm gonna be busy enjoying my time in Scotland. But that's the nature of a bullet journal, and that's the big advantage you get. You can totally customize your spreads to your own needs, and I highly recommend you do that, and also leave your comfort zone of ever the same spreads and layouts, and venture out and try some new things too. And of course, I'm also decorating the remaining empty space with some more stickers and washi. And that is it for my first ever YouTube video and my new setup for 2023. Thank you so much for watching, and if you want to dream along some more, subscribe. I'm happy to have you. And now have a wonderful day and goodbye.